Good morning, good morning. If you can give me a moment, I'm getting set up. I want to put something in the comment line as I am live. That way I won't have to come back to it and do it later. I hope you all are having an amazing Wednesday, wonderful Wednesday at that. So I'm going to introduce to some and reintroduce to others me as an author. Okay, here we go. So just bear with me. I'm just going to put something in the comment line before I go to talking here. I have it already typed up, so it's just a matter of getting it in here, getting it situated. That way I can get going with the live here. I am almost done. Bear with me. I appreciate your patience. Okay, I believe I may have, okay, we're in there. Okay, so good morning, wonderful Wednesday to you. My name is Rosie K. Thompson. I am the owner and operator of RKT-LIFE Purpose Coaching, which I do have a live Facebook page up under the umbrella of that name. I'd really appreciate it if you guys would go over there and like that page and follow me on that page. This here is my personal page. Eventually I may switch over to doing the lives from there, but right now I'm just kind of getting acclimated to doing these lives and coming before you typically on a Wednesday morning. And so today I'm going to talk to you about some of the self-publishing books that I have already put out there, and they are available on Amazon.com as well as BarnesandNoble.com for ordering, and as well as in the Norman, Oklahoma bookstore of Barnes and Noble. And some of these books can be ordered through me. If you look in the comment line, I've already tagged them in there and I've put them there. I have Paperback in the Movers, Shakers, and Standbyers and the Serial Repeat Offenders. And then the God Teach Me to Stay Out of Your Way, Sir, which talks about the Abraham blessings. It's a book about decreeing and declaring, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as I get going on the live. That book can be ordered through me as well. It will come to your email address. Just make sure you look at the notations that are made, the ordering requirements and how you pay and what you need to add to that comment line, and I will be sure and get those three if you decide to order them from me to you. The first two will be mailed to you, which I would need a good mailing address for you, and then the last one, which is an ebook only, it would be emailed to you. So I would need a good working email address for you to get that to you. All books do have to be paid for in advance before I do send them out, put them in the mail, or email them to you. So with that being said, I am a certified professional life coach and mentor. I also do content creation, which consists of logos, business cards, flyers, announcements, bios, resumes, cover letters, menu creation, things of that nature. Now, I will let you know, my prices are getting ready to change. I have been doing some things and perfecting things on my end just to get more equipped and educated, and being an entrepreneur, it has been a blessing, and it has required things on my end, which I have been honored to be able to pour and to do so within what I'm doing. And I hope that you guys are able to hear me and see me okay. If there's someone that is tuned in that is live, if you can let me know that I'm still with you guys and that you can hear me okay, that would be great. So with that being said, my prices are going to change on my content creation side, and I will be making but making an announcement with those price increases. It's not going to increase by much, but they are going to increase. When you think about the time and the devotion work that I can't speak for anybody else, but that I put into my work, the quality of the work that I do present and put out, I pour my heart and my soul into it. And so therefore I have to be able to make a means of living and being able to further educate myself, being able to further have software, things of that nature, just things that you do as a business owner. And so I can't do that with the prices that I originally started out with. So again, they're going to increase, not by much, but it is going to be where it's profitable for me as well as you, because I'm telling you, whatever I do, I do it with excellence, and I put my heart and my soul into it. So with that being said, I want to talk to you about me being an author, okay? I've already mentioned that I'm a life purpose certified professional coach, which I do one-on-one or group coaching. And so I do that by virtual. It could be in person, especially with the groups, you know, Zoom, Skype, via phone, just different things of that nature. You can get more acclimated with what I do and who I am on my website, which I did not put that information in there, but I tell you what, if you just put Rosie, the letter K, and then Thompson.com, it will direct you directly to my website, and you'll be able to see more about what I do, who I am, and what I have to offer, not only individuals, but institutions. I'm a licensed minister, churches, groups, small, large groups, podcasts, book, what are they called? Book club, where they do interviews and things of that nature. I'm available for those as well as speaking engagements, okay? But today, I'm going to transition a little bit, and I'm going to give you just a little bit of history behind what it has taken me to become a self-published author, okay? Some of you have counted yourselves out. You've not felt or deemed worthy of who you are, what you have to offer, and what matters most to you. And some of this has been because we have put others ahead and in place of ourselves. You know, the world has, and families and life, you know, we've had a stigma put out on what that looks like, what being a mother looks like, what being a wife looks like, what being a daughter looks like, what being someone who works a career looks like, or someone who is self-employed. And the thing about it is, those things may have, but let me be generous. 5 times out of 10, it really wasn't what worked. It really wasn't what was called for, even what was asked for. We just did those things out of habit, out of being creatures of habit, out of what we've lived, what we've experienced. And so therefore, even what we wanted to live up to when it comes to the expectations of others, okay? And I say that because as women, I can't speak for men, okay? I honor you men. I thank God for you men. If there's any men listening and that will tune in, listen, you have my back and you have my support. Because listen, I cannot imagine what all you all have been through, especially certain males, okay? And God has allowed me to have an understanding of that. And so I commend you men, and I encourage you men to continue to be the men that God is creating and molding and needing and desiring you to be and to become, because we need the men. The world need men. Women need men, husbands. You know, children, they need men. We need you guys as providers, as the leaders, as the head, you know. And so, but I want to speak to the women today, and I'm speaking to you men because some of you are married, you have mothers, you have sisters, you have daughters, you have friends that are women. So this is going to go out to you as well, okay? So what I want to come with you and share today is that as women, we have been so busy trying to meet the needs of others, trying to be empowerment, motivators, equippers, to equip others when it comes to being a mom, being a wife, being an educator, just being whatever. But we've put ourselves on the back burner, and we meant well, and we were running well, and we thought we were doing well. But here's the thing about life. If you cannot figure out and find out the end goal, purposeful goals of why you were created and what's in you that you've not discovered, and how to become self-fulfilled instead of trying to help and position others to become fulfilled, and yet you run on fumes, you are empty. There is no essence, true essence to you, because you're constantly pouring, doing, and giving in places that are rightfully deserving. But what about you? I believe we sometimes get hung up and caught up on trying to please and fix and help and assist and regulate other things and situations and people and positions and titles that we forget about us. Listen, even if you're married, you're engaged to be married, even if you desire to be a mother or you are a mother, what have you put to the side, never picked up, never thought about, or given any thought to as far as the greater you, how to become better at who you are? And do you even really know who you are? And I'm sharing this from a place of knowing, okay? Because before I became this self-published author, which I'm going to get into that real soon, man, purpose was not in view, in sight for me. Matter of fact, I didn't understand what purpose was. I didn't even understand what life and living, what that consisted and comprised of for Rosie. Because I had so many things that I had yet to tackle and understand, but that I was trying to tackle and didn't need to. We try to fix and resolve so many things that we've personally gone through, that other people have gone through, that we just plumb forget about the real, the truth. Things that are embedded in us, deeply within us, that needs to be birthed, that needs to be dealt with, that needs to be corrected, that needs to be understood, that needs to no longer be a part of our view, a part of our essence and who we are. Me. And you know what? I can speak for some other women as well without knowing fully, but understand they've meant well. But then, why have we not been able to do well and do better? Every day is a day and opportunity for us all to do better, to get better at what we do and who we are. But if we're constantly focusing on others or helping and pouring to others, but yet not taking care of ourselves, self-care, self-love, self-fulfillment, just areas that we need to become whole in: mind, body, spirit, and soul. If we don't know how to pour into us and seek the guidance, the wisdom, the revelation, the knowledge and understanding that, number one, for me, comes from God. And then number two, different resources and people and things that we pick up, that we become accountable to, that we begin to understand and embrace, we'll never get there. Not fully. Yes, we will be able to do some things, but not fully. So with that being said, listen, you never could have and would have told me about the things that I've been able to do and yet to do and fulfill, that has been a part of my design here on earth to do, if I would have never began to consider me, to understand me better, to desire to want to evolve and become better than what I had known and even what I know now. It's been a journey and a process that has been so well worth it. Even when I was married, you know, sometimes we get comfortable. We can get very comfortable. And we become mundane in our movements, in our walk, our desires, in our growth, all of that. And we neglect the things that are prominent, promising, that are going to be worthwhile, life-changing, very vigorous, and resilient for not only us, but then those that are around us. But if we stay in a posture and position to where we're trying to assist others to become, we will never really truly be able to walk in and walk out our true purposes, okay? And a purpose, they evolve, they change, they become more than just what we know them to be. You are not a title. You are not just a position. You are not a position. When it comes to the things of the world, you are more than what you know right now. I'm more than what I know right now of who I am. But I'm telling you, daily, I make it a point. And even if I'm resting on that day, that's me making a conscious effort and decision to allow my spirit, my body, my soul, my being, my essence to just rest. Because rest is a part of being able to create, to generate, to be better, to evolve. So no matter what we do, but every day as we do what we need to do, number one, what's going to make a difference in our lives, in our hearts, in our spirit, number two, and then how to incorporate these things in what we do as we do them until we do these things. And it's going to look different for every last one of us, but until we do these things, we're going to keep repeating cycles. We're going to stay on a merry-go-round that's going to keep going round and round and round, revisiting same circumstances, same people, same outcome, same results, same impact, same injuries, same hurts, same disappointments, same disgusting feelings. I mean, all of that. We will continue to do that. And some of you all, you're on the right path. And those who want to get there and who are trying to do things, you've been on the right path in certain areas of your life. But I just know that there's a bigger path. There's a bigger trail that we are called to blaze, certainly as women. Because when I tell you being innovative, creative, influencers, motivators, encouragers, builders, just being able to put things together to make something out of nothing, that is a woman in a small nutshell, okay? But how about we come out of the nutshells? How about we come out of the confinements? How about we break out of the boxes? We break those hinges and those chains that have tried to keep us. This is what I'm talking about. And see, I'm talking about to you from a place of purpose that has been redefined and being defined in my life. I can't speak to you about something that I've never gone through. I can only speak to you about a place of where I've been healed and delivered and set free from. Okay. And so that's why life purpose coaching. Now, I've been certified as a master life coach to be able to coach in different areas. But my niche, my calling, and my gifting is about purpose. Because when you deal with purpose, every aspect of your life, every area of your life is going to be impacted and assured in the right way. Because in purpose, it causes one to dig deep, to go into places and trenches that they've never gone before and really didn't desire to go, or perhaps didn't even know was available, was there. And it connects the dots. It gives you a greater enlightenment and understanding of why certain things have been the way they've been, and then not only keep you there, but a pathway, a road promising to help you come from there to get to where you really need to be, to get caught up. And then not only caught up, but then to flourish, okay? And it's a process and a journey. And yours is going to look different from mine and everybody else's, as it's supposed to, because we were all created differently. But yet, we were created in the image of the one who's already made the way for us. So, as a life purpose coach, the things that I'm doing now, I could have been doing those things. As a self-published author, as a creator, as a nurse, as a servant, as the things that I've been able to operate in under the gifts and the influence of the Holy Spirit, and my callings, things that I've been called to and called for and chosen to do, as well as you. So as I begin to understand and make room and make way for these, for the knowledge to come, it has made such an intricate impact in my life. So defining, so rewarding, so liberating. I've never felt more freer. Now, let me share with you about the freedom. The freedom, it's not saying that it doesn't come with obstacles. It's not saying that it doesn't come with challenges. But I don't know about you, but to go through an obstacle or a challenge or anything, and there's not an end goal that is purposeful, is a waste of time. a waste of energy, a waste of space and time and hurt and pain. We just make room for a whole lot of things that we should not give room for. And enough became enough for me. And the way the world is and the way that some of us move and some of you all move, you've had enough as well. But even in the having enough, please understand, you're going to have to exert yourself and be able to make yourselves available and be ready for the things that's going to come that we have no control over. And then some things we do by our response, by our obedience, by our willingness and our even showing up. We can make a difference in those things, okay? But the things that we should not even give an account for, those are the things that take more energy away from you. Take more excitement and peace and joy away from you. It robs you, it steals from you. And it becomes encumbersome for you to do what you're designed to do, what you're purposed and gifted to do. And your purpose is something that if you think about it, there's been a passion within you. It came natural. It came easy for you. It excited you. You were willing to do it for free. It's just your purpose is part of the plan that was put in you before you even really knew it and realized it or discovered it. But it's there. So, self-publishing author. You're looking at someone who did not even complete 9th grade. Highest education completed was 8th grade. Reading for me was not a fundamental. It was not a activity. It was not a hobby. It was not a joy. It was not a pleasure. It was nothing on my radar because I had so many other things on my radar and I was sidetracked. I lost view. I never found view or focus. And so because of that, you can't tell me being a 4-time self-publishing author that it was not a part of the plan from the beginning. Anything that you kind of have ran from and has not really been discovered that may be really hard for you to even think about, I'm telling you, they're going to be worth you thinking about them, worth you giving account for, and open up your life, making room for you to be able to understand that there's greater. And how this greater and greatness come forth is by you making the effort, taking the necessary steps to allow it to come forth. So becoming a self-published author, the first book is Movers, Shakers, and Standbyers. Greater obedience produces greater faith and trust in God. This book was the very first self-publishing book that the Holy Spirit self-taught me, as well as me having other people assist me and me helping myself, me doing more than what I expected other people to do for me, and positioning myself to become the first-time author in my family. And I'm not boasting or bragging. I'm just letting you know the beginnings were not easy. Matter of fact, really didn't see the beginning, but God knows the end from the beginning. And this was part of the plan that God had for me, that was purpose for me. Someone who had never completed a book, probably only read the first couple of pages and got sick and was sick and tired, didn't even desire, didn't even want to. So for me to come out with this book, I believe it's like 190 pages. There's, I believe, 12 chapters in this book. And it wasn't just something that I sat down and just did. This book is about a faith journey and faith walk and learning to increase my faith and not Rosie, because I was self-righteous before. God took me through a process and a journey to rely on Him, not me, not others, but on Him. And so what's in this book is called Movers, Shakers, and Standbyers. In the world, in your family, you're to become a mover. You are a mover. You are a shaker. That you move things that needs to be moved and positioned and put into place. That you shake up foundations that need to be shaken up and roared and rumbled that needs to be to make a difference. And then standbyers. You're not a standbyer. In this world, there have been more moving and shaking by the world system and worldly individuals. while the Christians have been in the back seat, on standby, standing by, watching everything happen, and not being the ones that are being positioned and in key places. Now, there's been a difference here lately, but this book, I began the writing process of it was in 2014. So that's 8 years ago. Okay. And so if you can take your mind back to then, there's just been a lot of things that we have missed. I was guilty. But these are things, this is what God placed in my heart, the names of the chapters, the writing of the chapters. And I learned to become a mover. I learned to become a shaker. I learned to begin to position myself where I needed to be positioned. And since then, so much has happened. I quit standing by. I quit taking a seat, not moving backwards, but certainly I wasn't moving forward. I learned how, through opposition, through trials, through tribulation, through getting beyond me, past me, and my understanding and what I thought, what I felt, I learned how to move past it, how to shake consistently past the being a stand-byer, seating myself in a position where I was not to be seated or just sitting down, period. I learned how to overcome these things. And when I tell you the miraculous things that God did in my life is in this book. The things that he brought me through is in this book. Even the escaping of death in this book. The chapters that are in this book, these are not chapters that I wanted to write on. It is what the Holy Spirit inspired me, and even what content to put in it. Now, this was the first one. And remember, 8th grade education was back in the day. You know, up until age 30 was when my life began to change, and then I became educated. And I hold license as a registered nurse, RN, as well as my LPN nursing degree. I still keep that up. And I have a few other degrees, cosmetology, my CDL, just to name a few, you know, life purpose coach, now business owner. I would have never been able to do these things. And even my website. You want to know who put that together, who created that? As a content creator, the Holy Spirit endowed me, showed me. So if you look at my website, like I said, Rosie, R-O-S-I-E, then the letter K, which is my middle name, K, but just the letter K, and then Thompson, THOMPSON.com. That website, someone who's never taken a designer's course, graphic course, never did that, but that was in me. And these books were in me. But I had to come away from myself in order to learn what truly the gifts that were laying dormant, that needed to be in operation fully, and that are still manifesting. And this is how you see what you see and what you may know of me today. And I don't take any credit. So this book is available paperback as well as ebook on Amazon.com and Barnes & Nobles. The links that I provided for the majority of these books are going to be on Amazon. This book is $10. In the comment section, if you want to order it through me, it's going to add an additional $5, which is for shipping and handling. And then you need to put your address where you want it mailed to. And your address for me to mail this to, I'm very professional. I don't even keep a memory of what address. I make sure that I put on the mailing postage to send it to you. I don't keep recollection of that. I'm not going to do no drive-by. I don't do none of that. I'm very professional. Because I want people to handle me. I handle people the way I would desire people to handle me, and even better. I go even better. So, but if you want to order it from me, I will need your mailing address, okay, for this book. And it's going to be $15 total. Now on Amazon, it's $10 for the paperback and the ebook. Now on Amazon, the pictures are not in color, but if you go to Barnes & Nobles and order it offline or go pick it up in their Norman, Oklahoma City store, the pictures inside the book, they are colorful, okay? And the price may be some cents or $1 more when you order on Barnes & Nobles. That's going to be the difference. It may be a little bit higher on Barnes & Nobles, okay, or at the store, okay? But this is the first book, Moving Shakers and Stand-Bys, and it is about a faith walk in God doing some miraculous things. I mean extraordinary things. And through this book, me coming off my job and the financial setup that God miraculously had me just stacking up, putting in my bank account, because I didn't know at the time that he was going to call me off my job. I had no idea. None whatsoever. Daughter was pregnant, had my first grandbaby. He's now 8, but he was setting me up that whole time. And it was a painful trying time. It was, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. There's a saying, how can the worst times of your life be the best time? And it was. It has created and built me, establishing me, and motivating me, charging me into, the woman that you see today, the woman you see today, and the woman you will see as I allow God to continue to perfect me. And for me, there's no other way, there's no other option. So when I tell you a lot of beginnings of what God has done, it's in this book. Not everything, but I do go back to my childhood and my teenage years, because it was some profound things in there. I had to learn to trust. I had to learn to understand, to hear God's voice greater. So you can find that in this book. Be encouraged. And then after that one came the afterbirth. You hear me? The afterbirth. This is the book, self-published again. And I have to thank Miss Valerie, Miss Valerie McMurray, for her obedience to even suggest what she suggested for me, for this to come into action. And it was shortly after the release of the first book, okay? And it's called Movers, Shakers, and Standbys for Little Girls and Boys. They're across America. Their land is full of opportunity. Very motivating, very inspiring, very encouraging. Encourages them about education, about their homework, about chores at home, honor their parents, teachers, dreaming big, writing their visions, their goals. They can become and do whatever they put their heart to. And so this book, I've created some DVDs, actual movie of me reading this to the children. And I give those away for free, okay? Those have been given to daycare centers, individuals, school systems, where they can play this for story time to their children. Matter of fact, I've read this to Freedom School, which is a nonprofit that help and assist children from different backgrounds of economic setbacks, to encourage them. A wonderful program. I read this to them, and this is the fruition of that as well. That's what Miss Valerie asked me, along with some of the other entrepreneurs that she know, and business and influential leaders, to come and read at different times that they needed someone to do a story time with them. So listen, this book, hardback, okay, very colorful. Let me see if I can open up the pages and you can kind of see some of it. It is available. If you want the hardback book is only available on Barnes & Noble's online ordering, or even at their store. And the price for the hardback is $12.28. I made this book purposefully so cheap, to where I don't receive any royalties off of it. It was the least price that I could make it for Barnes & Noble's, for them to print it. So the printing and production of it is the cost that you will pay, and it's only $12.26. Barnes & Noble's online, or even in their Norman, Oklahoma City store, okay? And so, because I want to bless our children, I want to bless our babies, I want to bless families. Listen, if we want to start impacting this world and make a difference in this world, we have to start with our children. We have to start with our babies. We got to start with our youth, with our teens, with our young adults. And the only way we can impact their lives is if we allow our lives to be impacted. And as an adult, the first person that's going to be able to influence you is you. And then how do we influence them? Through us, okay? And the influence that we need to influence ourselves and influence them needs to be Holy Ghost inspired and led. It does. That's the only difference that we really can make. Not to say that people that are not saved are not good people. They're probably some of the best people. Probably better than some Christians. I'm just saying. But you know, to make the right impact, and if we want to continue to make the impacts that the world needs, we need to do it the way that God knows that it needs. And God knows we need these babies. When they took prayer out of school about 20 years ago, I think it was, so much is beginning to happen in school systems. And really in the elementary, in elementary schools. It's just too much going on. And not only in schools, in daycares, home daycares, academies, all of that. Wherever kids are, boys and, different Boy Scouts and all that stuff, people, they intentionally target these babies. They want to work around these babies that mean them harm. They do. And how are we going to be able to snuff them out? To be able to see and know that they're up to no good. To know what is the good and perfect will of God. That we allow them to take prayer out of school. They've taken so much out of school. And now we got a whole lot of stuff coming in that is just not godly. It's not right. And your kids are in the midst of that. They're being taught these things. So this book is an inspiring book. It's inspirational. It's for every child. You ain't got to be saved. It's for every kid. You know, what my heart is for those who are lost. And I'm to my parents. I'm to my youth, teens, whatever. It's for everybody. Because I was once lost. I wasn't always saved. But it doesn't mean I wasn't a good person and I wasn't lovable. God loves us all. But listen, we need to reach our babies better than what we've been doing. But we're trying to do it in a way that it's not been productive. It's not been the right way. There's a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof. Men have many plans, but it is God's purpose that will prevail, right? Proverbs 19:21. It's his purpose. And so we have to become purposeful in God and get our plans and our agendas out the way. So this book, it goes even further. It's now an ebook that is available on Amazon for $10. So you can go and download this on their devices. They can see it on their computers, on their phones. It's an ebook. Ebook can come up on their phones, their iPads, whatever device you have for them. So you can download it to that. And moms, even if you're pregnant, read it to your babies. Read it to them while they're in the womb. Educate them on a lot of things while they're in the womb. Pour out love to them. Talk to them. Let them know how important you are. Begin to decree and declare on them and over them. Fathers too, to your children. So if you don't have children, if you're a grandparent, or if you want to gift it to another child, your nieces or nephews, boys and girls, little boys and girls from 0 to adolescent, okay? So it's available at Barnes & Noble's, hardback, self-published by me, the afterbirth of my adult book, Movers, Shakers, and Stand-Byers. This was for the children. Very, very inspirational. Here's the back cover of it. I want to thank Miss Paula. She was the graphic designer. She created the cover, the book cover for me. She did that. And she did it for Movers, Shakers, and Stand-Byers as well. And I didn't show you the back of this book. So let me tell you, when you begin to move, the right people will come into your life to be able to do things for you. Now, I recently saw a post of hers that she's not doing this anymore. She's only going to take care of certain clients that she's taken care of in the past and finish up other projects. I believe God has her hand in a different place. But listen, there is different places where you can go online and you can have someone to help you. You know, and I may get together with some other self-publishing authors. People have gone through the process to be able to put a Zoom class together on the process of writing and journal, the things that you need to do to self-publish and how to look for the different help that you need to get going. But really, it's just sitting down and starting to write, okay? And so this book, again, hardback, Barnes & Noble's, online and in their Norman, Oklahoma City store for $12.28. And then you can also get it on Amazon for $10 on the ebook only. And then I'm going to be setting myself up to where I'm able to come into the schools, daycares, churches, whatever, and read to the children. You know, you have programs that you have for children, for youth. Guess what? I don't mind coming and reading to the babies. I don't. I love it. I've been doing it. And I'm going to do it even the more. Of course, scheduling, we'd have to work something out. You can go through my website and leave me a message in there. And I'll go from there, okay? All right. And I also have DVDs that I've created and made that can be played on laptops, in certain devices where you can play them for the children to sit, and it's me actually reading this book to them and encouraging and inspiring them, okay? And I've passed out those, and those are free. Those are free. So then the next book, and for those of you who may have not listened in from the beginning and may be tuning in now, my name is Rosie K. Thompson, and I'm the owner of RKT-LIFE Purpose Coaching. I also do content creation. I am a certified professional life coach and mentor, and I do one-on-one and group, individual and group sessions, account coaching. And so I also do content creations, which I create logos, flyers, announcements, resumes, short bios, or bios if you want it to be a little bit lengthier. I create menus for restaurants. Let's see, have I business cards, my website, I designed that myself. I don't know if I'm going to be designing for other people, but who knows. But anyway, I do content creation, and I self-publish these books. So I'm presenting to you the different books. There's 4 total that I have self-published as an author. And so that's what today's live is for Facebook and for YouTube. So this is the 3rd book. Serial repeat offender victims. Okay. And Miss Paula, she was the cover designer of this book as well. She did an amazing job. She's no longer doing picking up doing the designing aspect of things. She's only finishing up for her current clients, projects that she had, and God has transitioning her to do something even the greater. But I have to give her credit on this as well. And so this book here, Serial Repeat Offender Victims. Listen, people have been victimized and demised by the character, the lack of character, the lack of morals, the lack of love, the lack of care by so many situations and people and circumstances. And to be a victim, a repeated victim of anyone that wants to harm you, belittle you, degrade you, and really be a voice for you, control you, manipulate you, bring harm to you in such a way that is so degrading. This book goes into a couple of areas of real life experiences that a couple of individuals, I don't give names in here, real names, but a couple of individuals that I was very close to that were repeatedly victims of a serial repeat offender. They were offended over and over. They were manipulated. Things just that was done that just no human being deserved, you know. And it wasn't just one person. When you don't know your voice, when you don't have a voice, when you don't set standards for yourself, when you don't become empowered and begin to use your voice and love yourself, and you look to the love of others or the confirmation of others or the like of others, you will subject yourself to a lot. So it goes into understanding more. Matter of fact, let me read the back of this to you, kind of the synopsis of it. It says, for some unknown reason to many, we tend to focus on our mountains in life. And when you focus on woe is me, you know, a situation that has happened to you over and over, you become a victim. And a victim, you're a target. It's like a neon sign over you, and people spot you out. They do. And that's why you're repeatedly being victimized over and over and over, because you're wearing a sign. And it's because you haven't figured some things out. But it says, instead of calling on the one who created the mountain, ideally everyone wants their mountains to be removed. Some mountains are in front of us for us to learn how to overcome them. Mountains and valleys were created for a number of purposeful resources. Yet life and circumstances can make us judge them with a new pair of eyes and a different heart and mindset due to the betrayal and hurt of others. We begin to see things the way that we don't need to see them. Okay? And it says, victims remain victims because they could never see the shade, the nutrients, and the sun in which we gather from the mountains, the resources that we naturally have here on earth. Okay? And it says, at the hands of an offender, we tend to suffer greatly, and even to a premature, untimely death sentence. Knowing who you are is the key to survival in any situation. Don't continue to take trips in life that are not beneficial to you and your future and destiny, according to Jeremiah 29:11-13. There is a plan for your future and hope that's filled with peace and not evil. Just like there was a thought for the mountains and the valleys, God's thought towards you are even greater. He has a plan for you, for purpose and a future, and not to harm you, okay? And hope, great hope. When you call, he listens. When you pray, he's right there. When you seek him out, He's not invisible to you or your needs. Your search in him will bring closure to anything that is set and designed against his peace and hope and future and plans for you. So when you call on him, those things that are set against you having peace and the plan and purpose that he has for you, guess what? He'll show up and he'll show out, okay? So what you got to do is trust the process. So this is just to help you become more knowledgeable, more aware of how you even set yourself up and how you become the victim of being a serial repeated offender victim, okay? But it's knowledgeable. You know, I just didn't write anything in it, and it's a quick read. It has, let's see, about 80 pages in there, okay? About 80 pages, okay? And so the next book, which I do not have in paperback, it only comes in ebook. It is called God Teach Me to Stay Out of Your Way, Sir. And so initially it was a prayer, but then it turned into some decrees and declarations daily that I began to pray over myself, my business, entrepreneurship, just different things. And so it became about the Abraham blessings, and you can find that in the book of Deuteronomy. So it's a quick read, but even today, there is sections of this book that I read daily. Well, I've kind of slacked off a little bit doing it daily, but every time I'm getting ready to do some things, you better know I've decreed and declared those blessings from that ebook. God, teach me to stay out of your way, sir. Okay, and that's what he's been teaching me to do. But it's speaking about blessings. Okay, blessings in your health, your life, your family, resources, connections, entrepreneurship, all of that. And so blessings, it's not just about finances. Okay, how do we obtain wealth? How do we obtain finances? You know, now let me share this with you. No, I'm not a millionaire. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you this: I'm nowhere near where I used to be. And right now, the things that are being set up and created and designed will help me and teach me how to become better, a better steward over what has been entrusted in me. And let me share this with you. There is a place where the Holy Spirit has been sending me lately, and I'm going to share with you some of the books that he has waiting there for me that have been so strategic and divine, and everything that he has my hand into. Remember, I was not a reader, and then he allowed me to become a self-publishing author. And now I don't like to go shopping for clothes. You want to know what I really go shopping for most? Books. And then things to help me, my body wise, okay? My systems, you know, to function better, okay? Vitamins, nutrients. Those are the things that are most important to me under God, okay? And his spirit and spending time with him and getting that intimacy. But where he's been sending me here lately to get material, to educate myself, to empower myself, to be encouraged, to learn, to glean, to be inspired, to try things anew. I was in there probably a couple of months ago, and he keeps sending me back, and every time I go back, man, and it's well, let me just stay on task. Every time I go back, talking about the wealth that I find. And when I get off of this live, I'm getting ready to dive in. Matter of fact, I've already dove in this morning, which is a part of the building process, the equipping process, the encouraging that I need. But once I get off, I'm going to do some work, and then I'm going to go and do some more work, but it's in the materials that he's been giving me. And when I tell you they've been purposeful, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Now, I've shared with you, my books have only place I've placed them, and I know of, that I signed up for was Barnes & Nobles and Amazon.com and the Barnes & Nobles in Norman, Oklahoma. So as I've been going and getting these wonderful, amazing materials from this one place that God's been sending me to, a thought came to me. It'd be nice if my book was in there. You know, I wonder will I ever see it in there. Now, I ain't do nothing to put it in there, okay? But it was just a thought. Y'all, about a week and a half ago, I'm looking through the books. Now, they sell more than books, but I'm looking for the books. And they had a lot of books. There was a lot of them in there. And how about one of my books was in there? Well, one that I stumbled upon, this one was in there. I took a picture of it. I had to take a picture, and I sent it to my sister. I said, look what I found. She was like, wow, how did that make you feel? I can't tell you what that did for me on that day. Only God truly knows and knew. Okay, and God knows, and He knew what you've gone through, and He knows what you're going through now, and what you've had to do to get to where you are. But He has greater for you. So the timing in which He did this for me, at a place that I didn't put it in, that I had no knowledge it would be in, but it showed up in. So you want to know what that let me know? Any one of my books, even the one that is only available by ebook, can be all over the world, in any place, at any time. Because when you have the one on your side, moving things, shaking things, and breaking up fallow ground for you, to position you, listen, there is no mountain too high, no river too wide, and no valley too low, and certainly no plain or no place in this world or in the nation where your books cannot be, or whatever it is that you create, that God wants to create and pull out of you in this season and the season to come. I can't tell you. And not only that, all of this came during a worldwide pandemic. You hear me? And He's still pulling things out of me. The business started during a pandemic. And He told me that a lot of things was going to happen, not just for Rosie, but for those who would take time to get before Him, to know what is His good and perfect will, that a lot was going to happen during the pandemic. He told me that. He told me that. Some of you are witnesses to that. And even, like I say, even the business, the creativity side of me, to create. No graphic school, no design school, no teaching from nobody. Holy Spirit self-taught me how to do things. So this book was in that store where He had sent me to go. I'll probably never go to another store unless He directs me, because He does. You know, I've had to order some books off of Amazon. You know, wherever He tells me, I'm going to do it. But listen, there, my goodness, I've been getting a wealth of knowledge that I have to sit down when He leads me, and then sometimes when I don't even feel like it, and read. So what you do and what you need to do is purposeful, to set you up for what God desires to do and bring out of you. Elevation time, you hear me? So, yeah, it was in there, a store that I didn't sign up for. Matter of fact, all of my books getting into a store, which is these 3 books here in Barnes and Nobles, I had nothing to do with that. I wasn't even, the day that it happened, that wasn't even my mission or my goal. And I'm going to tell you, it's hard to get any books in a storefront, and especially during the pandemic. And this is when mine, it was a favor of God. It was a phone call I made about something else, and then this is what God did. And so, and see, God had to He shows me things, like He wants to show you things. He's in charge. Just like He put this one in a place that I had no knowledge it would ever be in. So where else is this book? So you have something, people are waiting on you to develop and to allow to be cultivated, the gifts that are in you, the purpose that needs to be born and birthed out of you. Because you need it, number one, and other people need it, okay? The world needs it. And in how far your needs for them will reach in the world, really up to you and your obedience. It really is. It really is. You are an answer to a prayer for somebody. You are. And if you are spending time, wasting time, doing something that may be good, but may not be God for you, you're missing out. I've missed out. And I can continue to miss out if I get sidetracked, if I get beside myself, or I get within myself trying to figure life out and figure Rosie out. Because for years, and even now, I will never be able to figure me out. Never be able to understand me. But with God's guidance, with His help, with His truth, and with His knowledge, comprised up under His love and His love, So in him, man, what more? What more does God want to do? And again, not boasting, not bragging, but I give him all the honor, the glory, and the praise. Even to become a nurse with just an 8th grade highest completion, nobody but God. But I'm going to tell you, the building didn't do it for me. The courses didn't do it for me. The teachers didn't do it for me. I didn't do it for me. Now, were we all a part of the plan and purpose? Absolutely. But let me tell you who did it for me. God did. God did. God did. But you want to know how he was able to do it for me? My yes to him. My honoring him. My obeying him. Even sometimes when it was hard, I didn't want to do it. And sometimes it still gets hard and I don't want to do it. There is a new level that he's calling me to even in this season. And I understand. I get it. And he'll remind me of some of the things from the past to encourage me. This is why. And I need you to keep moving. I need you to be encouraged because this ain't about you, Rosie. This ain't even about them. This ain't even about what you see. It's about me and what I desire for you, your life, my will, and my plan, which is so much bigger than what any of us will ever know. And his plan, let me tell you what God's plan is. His plan, it does involve your happiness. His plan does involve your peace. His plan involves your joy. His plan involves you being able to celebrate life in whatever capacity that it is. For some of you, it could be so small, but yet so big. It could be smaller people, but yet so huge to you. Hear me when I say this. So that's part of his plan. And even part of his plan is you being a wife, you being a mother. Some of you may not want to get married. That's okay. That may be part of his plan. If you don't want to be married, it's okay not to be married. If you don't want kids, it's okay not to want kids. He might have you mother other people's children. Those are the best type of parents. Whoo, really, seriously. When you can find somebody that genuinely loves another person's child that they didn't birth, my God. And a lot of teachers are like that. Some of them, majority of them don't have kids, but man, those are their children, okay? Daycare workers, those are their children. So, part of God's plan is for you to be and do some of the things that are in your desire to do. And some of God's plans ain't what you desire to want to do on the flip side of that. So I say that to say this. If it's God's will and plan for you to be a wife, to become a mother, to become have a good career, to become a provider, do whatever, you don't think that he needs you and desire you to put yourself in a position to where you don't have a whole lot of holes. Imagine a bottle that somebody done stuck holes into and then they fill it up with water and keep that water continuously coming in. But then you have all these holes that's the water spewing out of. This is what we as women have looked like in life, as mothers, as sisters, as wives, as business owners, as employees, whatever we've done. This is what caregivers, caretakers, we have had these holes in us where we're spewing out of everything that's coming in us is going out because we are not stopping, taking the time to bandage up the wounds, to heal, to get an understanding, to gain clarity, to know what is good for us, what's not so good for us, what's beneficial for us, what has been harmful for us. And then in the process, you're not only going to learn these things, but you're going to also figure out you've been your worst critic. You've been your worst enemy. You have set up assignments against yourself that you should have never, ever aligned and assigned for you. But we can't do that if we don't step back, pull back, disconnect, cut off some things that we're doing that hasn't been working, but yet we've been doing them and we're still doing them, and we're steadily losing all type of the essence of who we are, the makeup of who we are, the buildup of who we are, just we're not happy. We have no peace. We have no joy. We lack a lot. We do. So it's okay. It's okay to not be able to fulfill a demand, even a requirement, or an ask for someone else, about someone else, because you need to figure out how life is supposed to work for you. It's okay to say no. It's also okay to not give a reason why you're saying no. Because people are selfish, inconsiderate. They're not thoughtful. They're used to us doing certain things. We've spoiled them. We've been too readily available. We've given them more access than what we should have given them. And listen, I'm talking about in every aspect of your life, even in your home, even with your children. It doesn't matter. We've set ourselves up for failure. So how do we begin to set ourselves up for success? I used to have a fear of failure and a fear of success. I couldn't keep moving, and I cannot keep moving the same way I've been moving or used to move if I want to continue to learn and grow and go. You hear me? Learn, go, and grow. And even glow while I'm doing it. So in the midst of that, as I learn one part of my life, in another part, but it's all about balance. And when I say balance, allowing God to bring equilibrium, homeostasis, a place of rest and peace and joy, to where I'm not always over here or not always over there. Maybe you've seen someone be all the way over there, and instead of you coming in the middle, you went all the way over there. God wants to bring us here. Place of harmony, understanding, enlightenment, peace, joy, fulfillment. Even during frustrating moments, even during hurt, even during pain, even during loss, even during death, even during sickness, disease, whatever, poverty, whatever. Because when we learn to get here, we're going to have less poverty. We're going to be less disease stricken. We're going to be less frustrated. We're going to be less hurt. We're going to be less, premature death has just been rampant. We're gonna see less of that. We're going to see less evil in the world because we're going to come here. We're not going to be over there, and we're not going to be over here. We're going to learn how to come here. And even coming here, please hear me when I say this, sometimes God will call us to come this way. Because see, we've gotten comfortable to being here. God wants to bring us here and teach us how to flow here, flow there, flow everywhere. But a place of rest is a knowing that we've never known. We've not even seen, to be honest with you. I ain't never seen it. Because none of us is perfect. But if we will allow God to perfect some things in us, in all of us, then we're going to see more of this than we see here or even way out there where we don't see nothing here. And so then how can we really influence and empower our homes first? Be the empowerment and the encouragement and inspiring in our homes to bring the change necessary in our homes first. Matter of fact, I already have the change in place. I already have what's needed in place. So before we could become a wife, before we become a mother, before we become whatever, we're here. That don't mean we ain't gonna deal with people here and all, but we're here, and we're not gonna let them take us here. We're gonna help them to come here, and then God gonna bring us more in here, because that's needed for us, because it teaches us, and then it even shows us what we're gonna look like if we get outside of ourselves again, or what we did look like, or what we even look like right now. So it's so much to God, and I want to learn more about God, but I can only speak to you from what He's shown me and what I've lived and what I've learned through Him. And it ain't always look good. We want to dress all of this up, make it up, all that, add stuff, put in extension. But what about our insides? We are spewing out. We got holes everywhere. Everywhere. So then what's really coming out? What are we really giving? What are we really offering? And not to say that some of it has been bad, because listen, if some of y'all was like I was, I really wanted to do right. I really did. God knows I did. But because of everything that I was masking and hiding and not dealing with, I did harm. I hurt folks. I hurt people. I destroyed things. I destroyed life and life for others. but more so life for myself. I wasn't living life. I didn't used to live life. I didn't even know how to exist in life. I didn't. And a lot of you don't. We get up, we do the same thing every day. So it's about change and prosperity. And prosperity is not just about finance. Success is not just about finance. It's about a way of living life purposefully. And we gain. Yes, we gain resources, we gain finances, our relationships get healthy, we figure out how to earn income and money and all of that. But if we always got this, what are we gonna do with it? What are you doing with it now? Are we good stewards over any of it now? Listen, my relationship with money, because of coming from poverty and a poverty mindset, unless I decided to change that, which I'm working on a lot, I've been working, I'm still working, I'm gonna keep working. Because I'm getting some things. And better yet, for me to get some things, I want my children to get it. I want my grandkids and those who are not here. So that they do things that has never been done before. Because Rosie's doing things that have never been done before. You are doing things that have never been done before. But there is more things. And so the more we glean to those things, the more we decide to do those things, the better we're going to get at it. So I am going to wrap up, but I do want to share this last book that I am a co-author of. Okay, just a co-author. So there's like 11 other women in here. They're amazing stories that is in here. The story that I put in here, it was told, but not in the way that I really wanted to tell it. I'm just going to be honest. So, but the other stories, amazing. I've read this book from front to back. And I was blessed by it. So there's something for everybody in it, okay? And I put this information in the comment section if you want to order 3 books through me, which is these 3 books. Oh, I didn't put this one in there. But if you want this one, use that RKT-LIFE coach and put unmasking, okay? But I need to have an email address, okay? So if you want to chop that payment up, it's a total of, this is going to be $10 with for me to mail it to you. I need it to, if you want it mailed to you, I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this one better. Because I need to know the name of the book, but I also need in the comment section your address if you want me to mail this to you, okay? But the other books, it has all the information in it, so be sure and look in the comment section of what I need. I can mail you these 2, and for me to mail you these 2, I need a mailing address. If you want to purchase them, the total price is in the comment section, as well as the God Teach Me to Stay Out of Your Way, Sir ebook. I can mail, you can purchase that through me. It's just $10, but I will need a good email address for you for me to mail it to you. Now with this book, The Unmasking, what you can do if you want to purchase this book through me, send me $10 saying to RKT-LIFE Coach, saying unmasking, and then the $5 that it's going to take for me to mail it to you, which is going to have to be a total payment of $15 for this book. But send $10 with the unmasking in the comment section, but then additional $5 with your email, your mailing address, okay, with your mailing address on the comment line in that section of the $5, okay, if you want this one. I only have a few of these left, but so I hope I have encouraged you guys, who's ever listening in and who comes in a little bit later, to understand purpose. It's ready to be defined in you, pulled out of you, that you begin to live out the purpose in which you're called to. It's not going to take away from you being a mom, being a wife, being a business owner, being anything. It's going to enhance those areas. I promise you it will. Whatever purpose God has for you, not what we purpose, but what God has purpose for you. And I'm going to tell you, you want the purpose, the will of God to be defined and reckoned and known in your life. You do, because you're going to do so much more greater, and you are going to be so fulfilled as a woman, as who you are. Okay, your being and everything else that is comprised of who you are and what you do. Not who you are, but what you do. Because what you do is not who you are. Okay, because those things change, and rightfully so. But you will become better and better at it, and be able to fulfill so much more than what you're doing or have done. Because for life in God, it gets better, even through a pandemic, even through trials. We learn how to better go through those things and handle those things, because we allow God to perfect us and perfect the things within us to be able to make that difference. So God bless you all. Have an amazing week and enjoy life, and put yourselves not above God, but put yourselves first. I hope you get this. Put yourself first. Because if you constantly doing for everybody else and the demands are on you and you don't put you first, you're going to give out. You're going to give way. And so many people have given out and given way, and now they can't do anything. Please don't let that be you. If it is you, stop. Put you first. You first, taking care of yourself first. Okay? And some days, it's not even doing for other people. How about that? You have that right. God, it's not a sin to not do for folks. It's not. It's not a sin to take care of you. It's not a sin to stay home. It's not a sin to rest. It's not a sin to say no. It's not. It's okay. It's okay. Because if you're constantly meeting the demands of the people of the world, of stressors, oh, Jesus. Premature death, sick, alienated, disgusted, busted, unhappy, miserable, depressed, oppressed, all of that. All of that. And this is the last thing I'm going to say. People, they have so much weight on them that they've picked up and they choose to carry because of things going on in their life. They've made the choice. And then people that are wanting to do right, trying to do right, and is doing right, they want them to carry some of the weights for them, carry some of it for them, not help them, show them how to get rid of the weight, but carry it for them. So they want you to be weighted down with their weights. That's not God. That's not God. It's not. It's not. There's a way that seems right unto man, but the end thereof. It's not God. So in order for us to know how to help ourselves first and to help others, we got to figure some things out. Because, man, I had a lot to figure out. And I still got a lot more to figure out. But I thank God for the moments and the time and opportunities He's graced me and given me to help me and carry me. Sometimes He got to carry me. Sometimes He got to push me. He got to nudge me. Or He got to whisper to me. He got to speak to me. Even if I'm asleep, He'll speak to me. However way He want to do it, I thank God for it. But I thank Him for helping me to help me. I don't ask God to help me and then tell Him how to help me. I thank Him for helping me to help me and then helping others. And I'm not here for everybody. I'm not for everybody. And everybody's not for me. But who I am here for, I thank God for that. I'm honored. And who you're here for, thank God for that. And those of you who have been here for me, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. You would never know how much you've changed, you've helped, you've encouraged, you've inspired, you've poured in. Because I'm going to tell you, it ain't been nobody but God. And some of you don't even realize that, don't even know that. It has been nobody but God, what He's led you to do. Thank you. God bless you. So, I love you guys, and y'all be blessed.